Welcome to Camp Alice Pittenger's 80th birthday party. We're waiting for a few more people to get signed on, and we'll be back in a minute. Hi everybody, I'm Pat Pyke, CEO of the Girl Scouts of Silver Sage. Welcome to Camp Alice Pittenger's 80th birthday party. I am here on my front porch. We were going to have a great big gathering at the Girl Scout Leadership Center with a fire and songs and games, but the pandemic had other thoughts. So we're Girl Scouts, we're resilient, we adapt, and so we invited our special guests, including you, to help us celebrate virtually. So this is what tonight is going to look like. We will have our camp director, Olive, who will lead us in the Girl Scout Promise and Law and then lead us in songs throughout tonight. Girl Scout cadet Savannah will share what camp has meant to her. And we will also have a really fun video from our former Girl Scout camp director, Courtney. Our special guest tonight is Connie Miller, the CEO of Icon Credit Union, who will speak about the importance of camp and launch a new contest. And then we will wrap it up with our development director, Jessica, who will talk about some our new camp contest and leave us with some more songs. Yes, I really do have a fire in the background that is crackling, and it's a little bit loud, but let's get this party started. The best way to start is to thank our donors, especially Idaho Gives. We just completed Idaho Gives and had our biggest year yet. We had $13,000 that you gave to support our outdoor and camp programs. Thank you so much. Donors that gave more than $65 received a special camp birthday e-packet in the mail, in your email. So please look for that and use it as you help celebrate tonight. So although we're here celebrating Camp Alice Pittenger tonight, you probably know, and we wanted to share that because of COVID and the safety of our girls, we have canceled summer resident camp for 2020. Adventure and fun are what camp is all about, but safety comes first. But summer's not canceled, camp is not canceled, and Girl Scouts is not canceled. And we have a full summer programs of virtual and in-person programs that girls will have a great, great summer. So what we're here for tonight is to celebrate Camp Alice Pittenger's 80th birthday. As you probably know, Camp Alice Pittenger is named after Dr. Alice Pittenger. I think it's so awesome that one of our earliest leaders was a doctor at a time when not that many women were doctors. That's really what Girl Scouts is all about, is offering opportunity throughout a girl's life and into her career. Dr. Pittenger was an outspoken community leader and a member of the Columbian Club and on the executive board of Girl Scouts. She knew that Girl Scouts needed a camp, and on February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1940, she presented the Girl Scouts with a surprise, a 9.4-acre piece of land called Crown Point on Payette Lake. It had been used as the location to film the MGM movie North by Northwest. Over the 1940s, many pitched in to help improve the camp, including the J.W. Turtling Construction Company, the Civilian Conservation Corps, and Idaho Power that brought power to the site in 1949. Idaho Power still supports our camp today, and gave at Idaho Gives. Thank you so much. And then the Department of Lands in 1949 offered to lease 59 additional acres, and that's our current campsite. What Camp Alice Pittenger is, it's more than a site, it is a magical place for generations of girls. Girls find adventure, and they find lifelong friends, and they find courage as they learn to swim and try canoeing out to the island, and archery and mountain biking, and girls learn about the natural world. More than ever, girls need today to connect to the outdoors. I meet so many of our former campers and camp staff for whom camp has meant so much. So I hope some of you are here today, and if you are, please enter your camp name in the chat box. So throughout the evening, be sure to join in the fun, and don't forget to take photos of the celebration and share them on social media, hashtag Girl Scouts of Silver Sage, or hashtag Camp is a Feeling. It is in our hearts. Also, in the chat box, you'll notice a link to a special selfie sign so you can take pictures and celebrate Camp Alice Pittenger's 80th birthday with us. And now, I'm going to introduce you via video our absolutely amazing camp director, Olive Paulson, also known as Noodle. Olive will lead us in the Girl Scout Promise and Law, and then start us off with a really special song to honor Camp Alice Pittenger, the Camp Alice Pittenger song. You'll see the lyrics scrolling across the bottom, and you're at home, so just go ahead and sing along. If you have a Camp E-packet, the lyrics are also printed in there. So take it away, Olive.
Hi everyone, my name is Olive, or you might better know me by my camp name, which is Noodle, and I'm the camp director of Camp Alice Pittenger. I'm so excited to wish Camp Alice Pittenger a really happy 80th birthday, and just like how we start every Girl Scout meeting and event, I would like to lead you through the Girl Scout Promise and Law. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, and responsible for what I say and do, and to respect myself and others, respect authority, use resources wisely, make the world a better place, and be a sister to every Girl Scout. Happy birthday, Camp Alice Pittenger! Alice Pittenger song. Some call it fun, but some may call it madness. So come along with us and wipe away your sadness. Happy campers are we, having fun beneath the trees. And when we are gone, we'll remember our song, cause we're from Camp Pittenger, Camp Pittenger, Camp Pittenger, Camp Pittenger, Camp.
Oh, this is so fun. I'm looking at some of the camp names come in. Let's see, there's Beaver and Lupin and Whirl. Thank you so much for sharing your camp names. That was a great song, Olive. Thank you. This is just so fun, just like being by the campfire. Oh, wait, I do have a campfire going. So next, I have the honor of introducing a really talented, articulate, and adventurous young leader, Savannah. Savannah is a cadet from Meridian, and Savannah was just elected to the high, very important position of National Council Delegate to represent Girl Scouts of Silver Sage at the National Council session in October this year. And I know she's going to represent us so well. Savannah, can you tell us about what camp means to you?
Hi. So this was going to be my first year as a CIT, but because of the postponement of camp, obviously not. But I still wanted to share one of my stories from the many past years I have of Camp Alice Pittenger fun and experience. So I don't know what year it was specifically, and I don't even know what day. And it was probably around noon because I remember that the sun was shining. And we were walking down to the lagoon. And for those that don't know, the lagoon is essentially where the canoes and the paddle boards are. I remember the day where there wasn't paddle boards, but on this day there was. And I could see them just floating there almost very menacingly to me. I was very scared of most of the things in the water. There was like these awful vines at the bottom of the lake that were always very scary because it seemed like they were just going to come up and grab me. It felt like it was the only thing between me. The board was supposedly the only thing between me and getting grabbed down into the water and drowning. Obviously, it's not, but that's kind of how fear works. You don't really realize how little the actual dangers are. Although like some parts, especially the deeper parts, were really scary to me, I loved the shallow rocks. But for any of you that don't know, bringing the paddle boards and canoes in that area for very long is not good for their fins or their tails, the part that is under the paddleboard that helps it keep it balanced, which creates quite a dilemma. But I'm really thankful that I had many caring counselors. And I don't remember the counselor's name, but she kind of saw that I was struggling and she saw how scared I was. And I think she empathized with that. And that's something that I really appreciate is when you can empathize with someone and help them become a better person because of it. And in this case, she saw that I was petrified to go in the water, but she also saw that I wanted to go in a way where I wanted to have fun with the rest of the girls, but I was struggling with it. So she took the prerogative to slowly coax me out into the water. It started one day by just having me sit on the board by the rocks, not moving so that it wouldn't damage the paddleboard, but just so that I could get used to it. I would grab onto her paddleboard about every 5 seconds just because I was afraid of even the slightest water quake. So, especially when people would drive by in their boats and rock the water extremely to an extreme level. And it really, that was the first step for me to overcoming a fear that I didn't know I could overcome. And thankfully she recognized this. And next, after that, almost, I want to say 15 minutes later, we tried paddling out a little more. I was clinging onto her paddleboard by this time. I was sitting down like in a state, I was a rock, just not moving at all, slowly just like letting my board push me out. And that again was the second step towards facing my fear. It's a slow process sometimes, but it's an important one. And so after that, I started trying to paddle more and more. And I started looking down at the water. It was terrifying, but also very much like an adrenaline hit. Just looking down and seeing all the vines and just breathing and seeing like, oh, everyone else is not dying, so I probably won't either. And like I could feel this nervousness build up inside of me, but every time I just looked back at her, I could see that she's not nervous, but she was in the past. And that kind of gave me the idea to keep going. And eventually I started to get much closer out to the other girls. And they waved hi and they were like, "Hi, Savannah," and everything. And I was very happy at that point because I was like, I'm facing this fear. And I would not stand up still. but I was making a step towards that. I was still grabbing onto her board, but again, I was still making progress. And eventually I had the confidence to like detach my hand from her board. It was a little sore because I'd been holding on to it for so long, because that's just how anxiety kind of works. And when I did so, it was very nerve-wracking, because even though when you're feeling confident, when you let go of like the safety wheels, as you might say, it's another adrenaline hit because you're worried again that you might die. But I didn't, and I finished that day paddling back on my own. I didn't stand up that day. And the next day we went paddleboarding too, and that's not very common, but I was lucky enough to do that. And she wasn't there that day, but I still tried and I succeeded. I didn't stand up that year, and standing up is still kind of a struggle for me. But I think that's kind of one experience where it really changed to have someone there. And I wouldn't have never had that experience if I didn't go to camp. And I would have never, ever probably faced my fear with paddleboards, because in a lot of other places, it's just not really an option to go all the time. And moving into my silver project, which is related to camp, as I'm collecting the stories of campers from all different age groups, from all different times, from like counselors to people that were there in the first like 20 years or so, and girls that go there right now. And I'm collecting their stories and intertwining it with the history of camp to create a better picture of what it means to go there. And finally, I don't think any of this could have happened without the donors. These people that give their resources so that girls like me can do things like face their fear with paddleboards, and eventually face their fears with much grander things, and eventually make the world a better place, if not what they're doing right now. So I'll pass it on to Pat. Thank you.
Wow. Savannah, as a CIT, what is your camp name, or what was going to be your camp name?
I was going to do Starry because I love astrophysics and cosmology.
I am not all surprised. I am not at all surprised by that. Thank you so much for sharing your story. You are so brave. I love reading all the comments. Everybody is so proud of you for overcoming your fear. And I was just so touched by your story. Thank you for sharing it.
Thank you.
And Savannah's story is shared hundreds, thousands and thousands of times over, and that is what camp is. That is what camp is all about. And you can see why we're so proud that Savannah is going to be representing us at the National Council session. This girl is going places. She's writing a history of our camp. She's making our council better, and we are so proud to support her in making the world a better place. So thank you so much. I have to echo what Savannah said at that, in that our donors make camp possible. We can't do it without you. Thank you so much. So guess what time it is? It's time to bring back Olive with a couple more camp songs. And the first one is going to be Thunderation, and then followed by If You're Cheering for Girl Scouts.
So we're going to start. The next song we're going to sing is called Thunderation. So we're going to start really quiet, and then we're going to get really, really loud. So it goes like this. Thunder, thunder, thunderation. We are the Girl Scout Association. When we work with determination, we create a sensation. Thunder, thunder, thunderation. We are the Girl Scout Association. When we work with determination, we create a sensation. Thunder, thunder, thunderation. We are the Girl Scout Association. When we work with determination, we create a sensation.
And Olive is really our sensation. I love seeing everybody's names in the chat box. Peaches and Kim wants to be Meatball, and Lucky and Gojo and Sparkle and Water Lily. Also type into the chat box, what is your favorite camp song? I have many, but one of mine is Princess Pat. No, we're not singing Princess Pat tonight. That one's too long. But Olive's now going to lead us in If You're Cheering for the Girl Scouts.
If you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, clap your hands. If you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, clap your hands. If you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, if you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, if you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, clap your hands. If you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, stomp your feet. If you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, stomp your feet. If you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, if you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, if you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, stomp your feet. If you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, shout hooray, hooray! If you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, shout hooray, hooray! If you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, if you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, if you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, shout hooray, hooray! If you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, do all three. Hooray! If you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, do all three. Hooray! If you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, if you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, if you're cheering for the Girl Scouts, do all three. Hooray!
Well, I hope that some of you were singing along. Hooray! So, as you know, camp has changed many lives. Many hundreds of girls and campers and staff members, but it isn't just about the girls today. We are getting camp ready for a whole future generation of Girl Scouts. And so now I would like to introduce you to our former camp director, Courtney, and as she gets her daughter, Pippa, ready for her Girl Scout adventure coming up in just a couple of years.
Oh, Pip, I can't wait for summer. I miss camp. Did you know it's Camp Alice Pittenger's 80th birthday? That's really old. That means that it's been around for a really long time. Wait, you don't know what Camp Alice Pittenger is? She doesn't know what Camp Alice Pittenger is. Well, we have to teach you and show you the way so you can be ready to go. First, tire swing. Oh. One of the best things about camp, though, Pippa, is going into your cabin and meeting your new friends.
Oh, hi. Can you say hi?
Sherwood Forest. All right, Pip, it's time to do your last lifeguarding skill, and then you will become a cat lifeguard. Are you ready? First off, you're going to dive into the water, retrieve the rock, come up, put it on your chest, and swim back to the dock. Are you ready? Get the rock. Put it on your chest. Kick, 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 kick. Yeah, Pippa, high five. You passed. High five. Bam. At camp, we would go canoeing. Sometimes we would go in Big Bertha, but usually only the CITs got to do that. So we're going to practice your paddling skills. Hold on to this and go down the slide, just like you're moving in a canoe. And go. Awesome. I think you're ready to paddle to the island. All right, Pip. Next thing that we would do at camp is arts and crafts. This is going to be a God's eye. What you're going to want to do, you ready, is wrap this around here. Doot, 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 doot. And then you do it. Here you go. Your turn. Oh, wow. That's a new way I've never seen before. That looks great. Here. All right, Pip, are you ready to play some Gaga? Here, let me help you get in the pit. Gaga is a super fun sport that we play at camp. Are you ready? Here we go. Ga, ga, ga! Get the ball! So, Pippa, you've learned a lot about camp and all the reasons that a lot of other campers like it. I always loved camp because I liked making sure all of my friends who attended camp were happy, safe, and healthy. And seeing campers smile like you is the best part about camp. Say bye-bye. Say it.
Bye-bye, Pippa.
Okay, my microphone was off. Thank you for letting me know to our production crew. Thank you, Pippa and Youper. I think Pippa is going to be ready for Camp Alice Pittenger in just a couple of years, and we can't wait to have her at camp. It's really fun to reminisce about your favorite camp activities, diving into the lake and retrieving a stone and canoeing out to the island. What was your favorite Camp Alice Pittenger camp activity? Go ahead and share that in the text box. Let's see what we've got. Oh, wow. Yeah, lots of people enjoy the Mom and Me and Dad and Me camps. Those are really, really, really fun. Well, next in our program, I have the honor to introduce to you a phenomenal, lifelong, lifetime Girl Scout, Connie Miller of Icon Credit Union. Connie is a Camp Alice Pittenger camper and the epitome of Girl Scouting in Silver Sage. She grew up in our council. She worked for our council as a young accountant. She wasn't quite old enough to be an accountant there, but almost. She was very smart. And she went on to become the CEO of Icon Credit Union. As many of you know, Connie has devoted herself tirelessly to service in our community and so much to Girl Scouts. Recently, we had a contest for the girls to rename a group of cabins, Courageous Village, at Camp Alice Pittenger. And the girls nominated the most famous Girl Scouts from all over the country and throughout history. And one of the cabins names that they nominated that will be on a new Courageous Village cabin is the Connie Miller cabin. So we are so proud that Connie is here, and she's going to talk to you about what camp means to her and about how you can share what camp means to you too. Thank you so much for being with us, Connie.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to join you. This has been bringing back some fun memories as I heard some of those songs. So I couldn't be more excited to join in anything associated with Camp Alice Pittenger and Girl Scout Camp. It was just an absolute pleasure for me growing up and participating. So I thought I'd share a little bit about that. So when I think back about my camp experience at Camp Alice Pittenger, it truly was a vacation of a lifetime for me. It was full of adventure every time. I went several summers and really had some fun visits, even been able to travel back several times as an adult, which has really been fun, whether that's Oktoberfest or camp work weekends, or even when I served on the board, we had some fabulous board retreats there. And then I think my most recent one is the shower house dedication, which was a pretty amazing experience. And so it really, Camp Alice Pittenger is a magical place. It really is. As a girl, I remember learning very unusual things at camp, and you never knew every year what you would be exposed to. And it was things like how to make pine needle baskets, or I remember Indian dances, learning how to do those. And camp was about courage and adventure, but also just meeting friends from all walks of life. I do remember having to sell a lot of Girl Scout cookies to be able to go. And I could never wait for the cookies to come out and time to start door knocking. And we didn't have the advantage of booth sales back then. So it was a lot of house trekking and knocking on doors to sell. But it was worth it because I had something to really look forward to with that. And what I loved about camp that I remember so clearly is that it didn't matter. I didn't fit in well in school. I just didn't. Just never felt accepted or and fit in. But when I went to Girl Scout camp, everyone started on a level playing field. No one was more popular than the other. No girl was more special. No girl was richer than another. And I just remember getting paired up with 8 girls from all walks of life. And you all were friends, and you didn't have the cliques that you had in school. I will never forget the backpacking trips, the rock climbing. As Savannah shared her story, my most thing that I was scared the most of was the rock climbing. I remember just being shaking and being so fearful with that, but I did it, and it was pretty cool. And I certainly remember the backpack trips of getting rained on, 3 days straight, and some of those things. But they were always the cool friends that I met. And so as I was reminiscing, I actually pulled out my Camp Alice Pittenger scrapbook. So believe it or not, I have saved all this stuff because it's that important to me. So I found this really amazing autograph book, and I was reading through it last night, and it was pretty cool. And I know how much this must have meant to me as a girl when I think back on this, because that's just the memories in my mind. And there's just this one, Pepper was her name. I really like you. You're so sweet. I hope you come to camp next year because I really like you so much. I really, really, really mean it. And when I think about back then not fitting in school, that had to have meant a lot to me. I have all these letters. So, we did pen pals after. We exchanged addresses and we would write to each other. And I was just going back and reading through those. And I just have this, we did like really fun, things like this where we would autograph and all this memory. But I have this pictures and pictures of the tippy tests and the goofy skits that we did in all of our cabins. And I've kept all that because it means something to me. It impacted my life as a girl. But the coolest thing about it is a gift that kind of keeps on giving. And so I just want to share this really fun thing. So I got this text, actually a message through Facebook last year. Yvonne was her name. She was a camper that was in one of my units. Well, this is a long time ago. I'm going to age myself here, but this is over 45 years ago. And she sends me this message that says, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I think I went to Camp Alice Pittenger with you. Her name's Yvonne. And she says, I remember both times you and your sister Judy were in the same group as me. I'll never forget the backpacking trip. And there was another year we had a canoe trip. Both times we got soaked by the rain. The counselors were amazing, Huff and Ryder. And she goes on to even name the counselors' names. And so here is a friend. And then the coolest thing about this is she says, I've been an Icon member for years. And I've kind of been watching, and I was so excited when I saw your name and I recognized you, but I wasn't positive it was you because of course my name's changed. So that is the gift that just keeps on giving, is camp creates such amazing memories, even that carry on for years. It doesn't end when you quit going to camp. Another really amazing thing when I think about how I learned life skills around setting goals from Girl Scout, selling Girl Scout cookies, and certainly it's impacted what I've done in my professional career and all of the goals of volunteering and giving back that I have. But I think camp also teaches you to dream. And what I remember is the wish boat floating ceremonies on the lake. So we used to get bark, and we would carve it and we would decorate it with all natural things. And we would light these candles the last night at camp. And it was always emotional. And I remember a lot of tears because we knew that we might not ever see these friends that we had made again. And we certainly stayed in contact with a lot of them. But I just remember watching the lake filled with all of these candles on this driftwood that would get floating out. And it was your time to wish. It was your time to dream and wish about what you wanted to do in life. And the wish was always that I would come back, that I would be able to come back next year. It was just pretty amazing. So what's really cool is I had these two counselors. Their name was Zonker, which was one of them that Yvonne mentioned, and Odd was her name. And I stayed in contact. We pen palled with those two counselors after I left camp. And my dad, they were from Washington, Seattle area. And my dad had a business trip one time. And so I said, I want to go. I want to see if I can connect with them. So I went with him on this business trip, and we actually connected. They were both in college at that time, and we actually connected. And I'm just thinking about these two busy college students that I'm just a camper to them. They were just, it was a summer job to them. You know, that's what you might think. But it wasn't. It was so much. We shared so many stories about what college life was like and boys. And we just had so much fun that weekend reconnecting with that. So we laughed a lot. We shared a lot of stories. We reminisced about what the chipmunks did in our suitcases and just all those fun things. So we even laughed about when my sister locked me in the biffy for an hour, and I thought I was going to die in the biffy. And I guess I learned forgiveness there, maybe. But I will just sum it up by saying it's still a magical place. When I visit it and I see Whispering Pines, I can tell you all the unit names and all of the experiences about it. It's still a magical place. And it is a place where girls can experience something that they can't experience anywhere else. And truly, adults can do the same thing now. So I think about how it's impacted, how excited I am about the role that I play today at Icon Credit Union, leading a big team and leading, a lot of people through their financial wellness. And I think about the skills that I learned through Girl Scouting and certainly Girl Scout camp. And courage is an example. It takes a lot of courage to make the right financial decisions, as an example. So when I think about our team, for example, I really took a lot of courage. This was probably 10 years ago when we made the decision we were going to take all of our team at Icon camping. And some of them were like, I've never been camping before. And it ended up being an annual tradition for us at Icon Credit Union. And I learned how to have fun, just to look at things and just have a lot of fun. It doesn't matter if you're in banking. It doesn't matter what you do in life. You can find a way to seek adventure and appreciate the outdoors and stay in contact with friends, and it'll create some lifelong things with that. So it's been a truly a blast. It's been a blessing that I was able to be a camper at Camp Alice Pittenger. And I couldn't be more proud of the people that so many years before me got that, donated that land, and all of the counselors that have changed girls' lives over the years of working there, and certainly all of the staff behind the scenes. As a staff person, I remember organizing bus routes and all of the back office things that goes into keeping girls safe at camp as well. So I will just say in closing that it continues to be a gift that keeps on giving. And I just hope every one of our donors and our not yet donors can someday really learn and appreciate the value of what that experience means for every girl. And I'm really, really excited about this, and also just this concept of launching the iconic Woman of Camp storytelling contest. And I know Pat and Jessica are going to share some of that with you, which is pretty exciting. So I'm going to turn that over to them, but just thank you for joining us. Thank you for participating. And I hope some of you were singing when they were doing the camp songs.
Connie, thank you so much. Every time I hear something about your story, I learn a little bit more, and I'm more and more and more inspired all the time. I love reading the comments. Your heart resonated with everyone, and I think the word that came most often through the comments was magical. I mean, it's not an understatement. It's a place where dreams come true. It's a place where girls find themselves. I didn't go to Camp Alice Pittenger. I went to Camp Innuendoin, and so I know just how you feel. I love reading everyone's comments, and everyone is really touched by your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah, and it is just so perfect that the girls chose to nominate and honor Connie Miller with a cabin. What a legacy. What a legacy. And thank you to Icon Credit Union for sponsoring this new storytelling contest. So I'm going to turn it over to Jessica Budzianowski, our Director of Development, and she'll tell you all the nitty-gritty details of this amazing story contest. So you can join in, and then Jessica will bring us home and introduce a few more songs. Thanks, Jessica.
You bet. Thank you so much, Pat. Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be a part of this special sisterhood this evening. Connie, your stories are so just heartwarming and kind, and I felt like I was there with you. So I love what you said. I had to write it down because it was so special. This is truly a sisterhood and one that you can come back to. Thank you for sharing those memories. And I have had so much fun working with you and your team at Icon to come up with an incredible way to have everybody get involved with telling their camp story. I love seeing all the feed of a few little stories so far, but I want to tell you about the Iconic Women of Camp contest that we are launching with Icon Credit Union. And what that looks like is it's an opportunity for each one of you to share your camp story with us. And over the next couple months, we'll be taking all of those stories and we are going to find 8 stories that are going to be our ambassadors for the next year about camp. And what does camp mean? What are those fun things and what are those silly things and what are those heartwarming moments and favorite foods? I love those s'mores. But these are the moments that we want to capture. And as sharing, she still has her scrapbooks. I know a lot of you probably still have your scrapbooks too. So share them with us. You heard earlier today that Starry, her silver project is to create the history of CAP. We need your help. And so this is your time to share your camp story. At the bottom of the screen, you should see the bit.ly link so you can go there to enter in your story in that form. It's also in the chat log, so you can click on it directly and you can go there right now and start your story. But we want all the stories that we can get, not only to help Starry with her silver, but we also want to make sure that we can have these ambassadors to tell the CAP story. So when we do our 100-year celebration, have even more stories to share about it. So I hope you will join us in telling your CAP story as well. So, all right. Also, as a little side note, for those donors who gave during Idaho Gives, in your special e-packet, you have your own postcard from home if you want to fill that out and email it to us as well with your story. You can either do that hard copy or you can do it electronically. We hope that you'll share those stories. Okay, so we're going to move along a little bit. We want more audience participation in this part here. So I would love to know a little bit about, so far been telling a little bit about your camp names, but when did you go to camp? Put in your years that there, or maybe what you learned at camp. What was that moment that inspired you? Starry shared her paddleboard moment. Share yours. I see one about dumpsters and bears and spaghetti night. Oh goodness. And lost plane tickets. Oh, I can't wait to hear more about that one. Thank you for sharing your stories, songs, your favorite camp names. It's been so fun. I haven't had a chance to go to CAP yet, but I can't wait. And hey, Noodle, I'm hoping you'll help me with a camp name too. So, all right, let's see a couple of those stories that we had actually come in prior to tonight as well. I'd like to share a couple of those stories with you. Kelly, who attended CAP in 1975, said Bunny's dog chased a skunk through the waterfront tent. Everything they owned smelled terrible for weeks. How many people had that before? Anybody else have that? Love seeing all the, Natalie had been to camp in the last 3 years. We had campers in 76. And then was a counselor as well later on. Barb was there 63. Gosh, this is so fun. campers back to celebrate with us tonight. Another story that we had come up, this one I thought was kind of fun. I read it too. Long story short, tensions were a little high with camp staff, and it was the last night of the first week. We were doing a campfire and singing the moose song, and Twiggy was leading the song, and Wiley, who was there in 2000, had 2 bottles of chocolate sauce in her army pants. So no one knew, they couldn't tell. But when they got halfway through the song, Blondie and her sprayed the sauce. It was epic. Everyone was in shock and they were laughing so hard. These moments, like, I love that we remember these silly moments, but those heartwarming moments, as Starry was earlier about, the counselor who sat down with her and talked about, being brave and having courage to try paddleboarding. So this is so fun to hear about these different stories. Thank you for posting those and what years you were and what being a counselor. I love even seeing, I know we're celebrating CAP's 80th birthday, but we can't forget all of our other camps too. So thank you for putting those in there. Camp Tamanois was the first camp I ever went to in 1968. Marty, thank you so much for sharing that with us. This is incredible. We love seeing how camp has played an important part in each one of you. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are going to highlight all of those women. We're going to keep telling you about how you can do that in the Iconic Women of Camp Storytelling Contest. So we're launching it tonight officially. Thank you, Icon Credit Union. Thank you and your staff. Ken, I'm giving you a shout out because you, I know, are so passionate about this and how we can work together to make wonderful stories move forward and for the next 80 years. All right, so we got to do a couple songs to close out the night, just like you would at a campfire while you're at camp. And so Olive is going to sing 2 songs with us tonight. I hope you will all join in on these. We'll take a pause between each one of them, but the first one is and the second one is Make New Friends. So I'm going to turn it over to Olive to sing a few more songs for us, and then we're going to wrap up the evening. We'll have that in just a second.
A little longer here with you. It's such a perfect night. It doesn't seem quite right. That it should be my last with you. And come September, I will remember our camping days and friendships true. And
I think we're having some buffering at the moment.
years go by, I'll think think of you and say, this is goodnight and not goodbye. I want to linger a little longer, a little longer here with you. Good night, Girl Scouts.
That's so special to have Linger there. I know we had a little buffering there. I'd love to know how many people Linger, and is that their favorite song? Write it in the text or in the chat box. And we're going to have one last final song. That last final song is going to be Make New Friends. I hope that you are singing along. Take photos of your celebration tonight and post it on social media too. So we are going to hear this final song, and then I'm going to and just wrap up a little bit and talk about the future of Girl Scouts and camp. So let's turn it to Olive for our last song, Make New Friends.
Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. A circle is round, it has no end. That's how long I want to be your friend. I have a hand and you have another. Put them together and we have each other.
I love that song. I think that's my favorite ones. So I love the idea too, singing it as a round. I didn't even think about that. Great idea, Maria. Okay, well, we have had a wonderful evening tonight. Thank you so much for all of you who are joining us. If you remember the start of it, Pat told us about that selfie sign. I hope you will see it in our little chat box. Go ahead and download that. And we want to see your selfie with this sign. We want you to use the hashtags, and we'll put this in the box as well. The hashtags are, I've got to make sure I have the right ones here for you. Iconic Women of Camp, and Girl Scouts of Silver Sage, and hashtag Camp Healing. So we'd love for you to use those hashtags and make sure you tag us on social media and share these stories. We cannot wait to read through all of those that you submit. So thank you for taking a few minutes, and make sure that you tag Icon Credit Union as well, because they're a big part of this special contest that we are doing. Okay, so friendly reminder, if you don't remember, here is the link again. Get your camp story. We want to hear all about it. So make sure that you're going to the bit.ly link. The next couple of months we'll be doing those stories, and then we will make sure that we announce at the end of summer who are 8 iconic women of camp. So make sure that you get those in right away so we can recognize you throughout the next year, and all those, you can be the ambassador for us. So thank you, Icon Credit Union, for being a part of that. And thanks for putting in the tag, everybody. Okay. I want to take a moment to talk about the future of Girl Scouts, because it is so bright. I need some sunglasses, and we have a lot going on. We are stronger together, and I want to thank all of those donors who helped with Idaho Gives, who make a monthly donation, who believe in camperships and scholarships and program support and STEM support. We could not this without you. So from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of the heart of the council and all of us who are every day, make sure you have an incredible sisterhood. We have an incredible sisterhood. Thank you. It means so much. So the other thing I want to share a little bit about is, camp is a little bit different this year. And while we will be doing day camps, we want to make sure that we are still recognizing what is forward for us. So summer is not canceled. We have just reimagined camp. And so what that means is we're looking at incredible new day camp opportunities. A couple of them Olive told me about, doing some theme from wilderness girls to animal lovers to even a Girl Scout bake-off challenge. Gosh, I want to be a part of that one. I keep going back to those s'mores, but have you tried the s'more with the Girl Scout cookie? It's pretty darn good. So anyway, there are so many camps that are happening, both in person, day camps, and I am so excited to see what our program team has done. Cheers to our incredible program team at Silver Sage Council for doing so many virtual trainings like our earthquake education, our national park. There's volcanoes of Hawaii next week. Gosh, we have so many incredible programs that are coming up virtually that can be seen across the country too. So please share with your Girl Scout friends that are all over, and you'll tune in and join us for those. We are also, as we honor CAP and finish, our celebration today, I would be remiss without telling you about what we're looking forward to with CAP in the future. We have put together an incredible team led by Maggie, who is phenomenal, of board members, community members, and have really started looking at master planning for CAP. How can we, and there'll be different stages throughout the coming years, but how can we really improve the property to ensure that we have incredible new things to improve the experience for every camper that is there and enhance that experience that we have? So that could look like new beach paths and trails and lighting and all kinds of incredible things to make sure that all girls and counselors and parents that come to are having the best quality, highest level of quality of experience. And so the first phase that they're in right now is really looking at those physical parameters, of the property in the community and getting that feedback. We always open our doors to you to share what you love about camp or thoughts that you have or how you'd like to. So please know that we welcome your input. But as we close out today, I just want to take a second and go back to that sisterhood moment. As we are celebrating CAP and all of our camps and Girl Scouts in general, it's about sisterhood. It's about a feeling, about that moment that you feel at home, that moment you feel safe, the moment you don't feel judged, the moment you're having fun and you can just be yourself. It's heartwarming. And you feel and you know it. And it's that moment that you know that you're part of something bigger than yourself. And I just want to say a big thank you to the thousands of women who have joined Girl Scouts and who have been a part of CAP and all of our camps. And this sisterhood is so incredibly special and kind and incredible. And each one of you are changing the world every day. And what you are learning through Girl Scouts, you are becoming resilient, confident, strong women of character who are leading the way for others. And so thank you. And I want to say, live that moment of our sisterhood. Shout it from the rooftops about how much you love our sisterhood and the community that we have together. And so I can't wait for our next celebration, which will be 100 years of CAP. And we can tell more stories. And we're going to have so many collected stories putting that together for us even now. But I heart camp. I hope each one of you do as well. Think about that favorite moment that you had and know that you are all a part of this incredible history. So with that tonight, cheers to an incredible sisterhood. Send us your story. Be a part of the Iconic Women Camp storytelling contest and safely hug a sister virtually and share what they mean to you. So with that, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I would be remiss if I didn't say happy birthday, Camp Alice Pittenger. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.